Hello all, and welcome to tonight's beer review. It's Friday night, and we got a holiday beer for us to review that's hopefully going to be a lot better than the last beer I reviewed, which you can probably go and view. Basically, a hazy IPA that tasted like somebody poured cheap fruit punch concentrate in it. Instead, we're going to be having a beer that I enjoy. Even though I've never actually had this before, I'm pretty darn sure that I am going to enjoy this. Why? It's from Ommegang. And Ommegang is one of those brewers that specializes in Belgian beers. And, well, this is a Belgian strong blonde ale, 9.0 ABV. There's no verbiage on this one. I'm going to go quickly and look at the website here. See here. Lightly dusted with spices of the season. Everything nice is a warming, wintry, Belgian-style blonde ale. This supremely cozy confection pairs perfectly with any traditional holiday treat. Note the flavors of cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, cloves, and white pepper as you sip next to the fireplace. We hope this fresh-baked offering brings warmth and light to you and yours. Hops, citra, malt, two-row barley, caramel malt. Doesn't go in list. I'm pretty sure that this beer is spiced, though. You know, you're not going to go and get tastes of cinnamon and ginger without that being added. And of course, we're going to be using our goblet today. This is not a beer chalice. This is a brandy goblet. But I find that it works very well as a beer chalice. You know, because Belgians are, especially the more heavier-bodied Belgians, do better in these more wider-mouthed glasses. Okay, let's go and pour this 9.0 bad boy out. Or good boy, since, you know, it's a holiday ale, and Santa only comes to all the good children. Okay, maybe should have given that more of a vigorous pour, but that's okay. An amber orange color, with a thin, rapidly dissipating off-white head. Cinnamon, ginger. Malt so sweet they're almost cakey. Cloves. Yeah, definitely a lot of that Belgian phenolic funk from the yeasts mixed in with some spices, and it blends remarkably well on the nose. Why am I holding it like this? I want this to warm up. Man, I want more head, man. So I can smell this wonderful beer. Also, too, I probably should have let it open up a little bit more. You know, warm up a little bit more so it opens up a little bit more. I can just smell all this wonderful holiday spices, but it's all closed up right now. Almost hints of candied fruit. Notes almost like, this is a first for me, like spruce or Christmas tree. Very subtle though. But yeah, candied fruit. It's fruitcake of a beer. Okay, onto the palate now, since we're not getting much nose out of this. Shall we hold it like this to warm it up even more? Shall we? Oh my god, that's absolutely lovely. Just a warm note, warm top note of cinnamon, ginger, and allspice, all gathered up right there in the long finish. It's almost like baking gingerbread in the top note. Up front, candied orange. Mm. Yeah, that gingerbread just sort of permeates throughout from the start to the finish. It really shows up in the finish. It's very apparent in the top note. Hop bitterness from the front to the mids. Mostly clear by the finish. Mouthfeel is only slightly chewy, slightly oily. Does not feel like a 9.0 at all. Absolutely zero booziness. Mm. It's amazing how much like more evocative of a fruit cake it is in the nose, but once you get it on the palate, I don't think I've ever had anything so evocative of freshly baked gingerbread before. The hopping is kind of secondary to both the malts and the spicing. You know, this is a pretty sweet beer, but it's hopped stoutly enough that the bitterness is apparent, and it has very much like a pine sort of dimension to it. So sort of those old school West Coast style hop palate notes. But like I said, very well balanced by the sugars. Almost like a spicy note in the front to mids. Passes fairly quickly, but nicely delightful. Some nutty notes emerging in the mid to finish. What's interesting is that, that sort of banana clove is from the yeast is still there, but it's playing, very much a second note to the baking spices, the rest of the malting. It's very much an ancillary role. Man, this is definitely a winter warmer, if there ever was one. I mean, yeah, with that large gingerbread sort of thing going on in the top note. Oh, and there's, yeah, candied orange, candied fruit coming much more apparent in the nose. Also, notes of like maple sugar too. Maple sugar, maple syrup. Yeah, some of that bite is more from like the spice element rather than just carbonation. This is definitely a slow sipper. Mm. Yeah. You know, not since some of my previous years of, Anchor's Holiday Ale have I had a holiday ale that's this concentrated and evocative of the various holiday flavors. Huh. This one definitely takes the cake so far with the various holiday ales I've reviewed for this holiday season. I do believe I found this at Bottleheads. I think this might be at Whole Foods, but it probably wouldn't stay on the shelf very long at Whole Foods. Um, if I find it, I'm going to get it again because dang, this is really good. It is indeed, as the label says, everything nice. Now, your mileage may vary. This is hopped to the point that I think some people would find it a little over hopped, but it works for me, so it'll probably work for most people. And I am not going to go and like really, I'm going to slow down now. I'm going to let this really warm up and express itself well. I should have let it warm up a little bit more outside of the refrigerator and build more head. And I think it would have been a truly sublime experience of a beer. Kind of a boo-boo on my part, but hey, there's always next year. This is a limited release from Ommegang, but from the reviews, it seems like it's a limited release every winter season. So yeah, um, 100% if winter warmers are your jam, this is one of the ones to try. And that, folks, is your beer review for this Friday afternoon. Cheers. And as this will probably be the last thing I record before the Christmas holiday, well, I might record some whiskey reviews on Christmas, but I don't know. That is not dependent on myself. So if you get it, you get it. If you don't get it, well, you don't get it. It's all good either way. So yeah, I wish you all, my viewers, a happy holidays, a Merry Christmas, and whatever holiday it is that you celebrate during this festive season. Uh, I was going to go through the holidays, and then I just realized, wow, it would be really kind of inappropriate to go and list like an Islamic holiday on a beer review channel. It's like, as if faithful Muslims are watching a beer review channel. Yeah, so that's it for tonight, folks. Cheers and Merry Christmas.